Yay!
Yay! Oh my gosh, guys, thank you so much for being here while we learn how to do a live stream.
Yes, I am technologically illiterate, but I am teaching myself how to do it. And it works, I guess, thankfully.
Okay, well, Steven, the good news is that it looks really good.
Yay!
We have like our little icons, we're in little shapes. Oh, someone said Cat is very, very, very quiet.
Okay, let me try to push you like that. Okay, now you should be better.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out soon, apparently.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yes,
we'll
I think
find
now
out
she's
in like
good.
30
I'm
seconds.
learning how to audio mix, edit, live stream all at the same time, and I am very incompetent. But
Steven is so impressive.
I think we did it. You should be higher, and we should be able to now talk about the beauty that is the Beastland.
Yes. Also, someone commented, thought this was pre-recorded. So it's not pre-recorded. The format that we're trying out is we'll film them live, but then they will live on as YouTube videos. So that's our plan for now. We are kind of just getting started and trying this out and seeing what works. But yeah, for our first topic, we're talking about Beastland.
Yeah, we went all the way to Saudi Arabia. Jimmy flew us out on his private jet. And we wanted to give you the tea. No, we would never. But basically, since it's been announced, it has been all over social media. Because he's the first YouTuber to have a theme park.
Yes.
I think Dude Perfect is the first one to ever announce a theme park. But none of them have ever really come to fruition. Until now.
Yeah. But I feel like calling it a theme park might be taking it a step too far. But the first time that we really saw what this theme park was going to be was when he posted this clip on Twitter.
It's...
Wait.
Beastland, my brand new theme park opens up in less than 24 hours. This thing is the craziest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
I
It says
can't wait.
his audio is disabled.
His audio?
Yes.
Or mine?
And then yours. It
My-
says Steven's audio.
My audio is disabled? Oh no.
His audio is, or no, doubled. See if two mics are picking you up, unless it's the echo of your room.
Oh, okay.
And then it says it's definitely the OBS software. He just needs to
Yes.
mute one of them.
It's definitely the OBS software. But this... okay. This should be better, maybe? Do I lose you then?
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I think that loses you. So let's try that one and see if that works. I love technology!
I know. Listen, everyone here, you're kind of like at the dress rehearsal, if that makes sense.
Yes. We're
The
still trying to
soft
figure out
launch.
how this works. So if you could tell us if this is better.
Anna says it sounds better.
Good. Okay.
My fiance in the other room.
That's perfect.
Okay. Should we go back to the video?
Yeah. Let's watch this beauty in real time.
Beastland, my brand new theme park opens up in less than 24 hours. This thing is the craziest thing I've ever done. I can't wait for you guys to experience this. Make sure you get your tickets before they sell out. Beastland.
No, not again. But we'll go here. It doesn't look real.
No, this was like, I remember when this came out, we were texting about it, and I was like, that's AI generated. And it does look AI generated. And it clearly, a lot of people thought this way because someone replied to the tweet and was like, nice job posting like an AI rendering. And MrBeast was like, no, it's real. It's all drone footage. But I think that the key thing here is that the park only looks this way. It only looks peak when it is completely nighttime and there are no other lights where you can see all of the stuff.
Yes. So Beastland itself opened just a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we are already, as you can see from the daytime, shit doesn't look as good. But if you look at the video, it's even more mid. Just, someone, there's also a bungee cord that you jump out of. It's a challenge.
My prediction was that this was going to be the Fire Festival of theme parks. And although it's not that bad, you can really see that it is, as someone said, completely chopped.
Yes.
And the only times the park looks good is when it's being filmed by other influencers. So like when we were going through TikToks of people who have gone the first couple of days, anyone who is not filming with like professional equipment on an account where they have a lot of followers, where they know what they're doing, is giving you the raw, unfiltered look at Beastland, and it does not actually look good.
And you're not actually allowed to bring cameras into the park. That's one of the rules of Beastland. You cannot in any way try and take your own nice looking videos and photos, which seems so like weird to me, because isn't the point of MrBeast content to like be as spread as possible?
Right.
So why limit the people who want video cameras? I don't really get it. But again, as you'll see throughout this entire PowerPoint, none of this really makes any sense.
No. And then we have this. So yeah, so when you film it at dusk, when it starts to change from like daylight into nighttime, that's when the park starts to look a little bit better because it relies so much on neon lighting effects. And the park is only open starting at 4 p.m., which I'm sure that it is extremely hot during the day and it cools down at night. But it's funny because just like AI looks better when they film it during nighttime scenes because you can't see all of the flaws, Beastland is like the AI of theme park technology.
Yeah, watch as it goes from mediocre to slightly less mediocre.
Someone said it looks like just an excavator accident. Also, someone said, Steven, switch back to the first change that you made with your audio. Cat was still audible, but now there's background noise and Steven is muffled a bit.
God damn it. Okay. So this here's the problem. I'm purely incompetent and have yet to figure out how to get Cat and I on the same hooshabadinger, as one calls it.
That sounds right to me.
Yeah. But
okay, well, let's keep moving, but if it becomes inaudible, somebody let us know. Oh, now it says so much better as it is right now. Perfect.
Okay, I did swap it to this thing. Let's see if that is better or worse. Let's pause. You guys, this is the test period. I tried to do this earlier, but it's kind of hard when I'm on YouTube and on this to figure out where all the reverb is coming from. Now it's worse. Now it's worse. Okay. So we'll try that, and then we'll try that. And maybe...
Guys, thank you for bearing with us. Thank you for bearing with us.
You are our guinea pigs, and we appreciate it very much so. Because... See, now I don't know if you show up at all.
Okay, now it says stay.
Stay. Okay.
The comments are redirecting us.
Thank you.
Stop. This right here.
Okay. We keep it. It doesn't move.
Okay. Yay. Okay, this is good.
Perfect.
Okay, now we can move on to talking about the Saudi Arabian government. Finally.
The stuff that, you knew it was going to get dark at some point, but it came dark pretty early.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this entire project is so blatantly, transparently dark and ill-motivated because there's no reason for MrBeast to build his theme park in a place like Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, unless there is like another side of this story. And of course there is. And so in this portion of the presentation, we're going to talk a little bit about what's happening here, why it's so controversial, and also why MrBeast is kind of the perfect person to do it.
Yeah. So earlier this year, MrBeast announced that he was going to collab with Riyadh Season 2030, which is this big big money spend from the Saudi Arabians to try and get basically Western eyeballs on Saudi Arabian content. And MrBeast is basically like their big poster boy for this event. It's very... It's kind of odd to see how it came to be. I know for a fact that for years, MrBeast was unable to work with the Saudis because his second in command, Ava Tyson, was a trans woman. But now, Ava is no longer a part of the picture. So, MrBeast can work with the Saudis as much as he sees fit. And he has gone so hard with the Saudis. He's got this. And if you look at the rules of, the MrBeast land, you'll notice that you have to follow the rules of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Kat, do you want to talk about the rules of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia?
Yes. Can we go to the slide with all of the controversies? Okay, so no, two more. Okay, so we have multiple parts of this that we want to break down and talk about some of the issues with why Saudi Arabia is such a controversial place to be putting your brand new theme park. But when it refers to the laws and traditions and cultural views expressed in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, they are talking about Sharia law. And in Saudi Arabia, being gay or trans is criminalized. There's some leniency around this for Westerners who are visiting, but I think a lot of people would say they would not feel safe going to Saudi Arabia. And of course, like conditions for people who live in the country are much more restrictive. Women have been jailed for just posting on social media about wanting more equality, better rights. And a lot of times you will hear people talk about how there's been this effort to introduce measures for women's equality in the country in recent years, which is true. But at the same time, there's incredible government suppression of speech here. And Stephen, you have to talk about kind of the worker issue and the labor exploitation issues here.
Yeah, so the way Saudi Arabia kind of works is it runs under the kafala system, where these major corporations offer, signing bonuses and not large amounts of money, but amounts of money to come to Saudi Arabia and work. You'll be able to send money back to your family. You'll be able to grow. You'll be able to thrive. That's what they promise these workers who are going from, more impoverished nations. But when you get there, you basically become beholden to the boss that just hired you. They take away your passport. They put you in company housing. And you're basically just earning enough money to be able to afford the room they're renting to you. So you're basically kind of stuck in this cycle that never seems to end. This has been around since 1950. And I think just a couple weeks ago, the Saudi royal crown prince announced that they are going to make changes to it. In my opinion, because FIFA is coming to Saudi in the next few years. But there hasn't been any actual, no rules have been put forth. No actual changes have been put forth. It's just, we want to change this and make it better. And right now, it's still not better. We don't know who made MrBeast Land. We don't.
I found this picture and I just couldn't stop using it in the PowerPoint, unfortunately. I feel like it's so representative of how I feel about him as a person.
It's okay. It's before he changed his teeth.
Yes.
If you notice in a lot of MrBeast videos, he puts AI teeth in his mouth. I don't really get why, but his teeth go into uncanny valley territory. I'm gonna get rid of this. I don't want to look at that. Yes. But this was the response to MrBeast's announcement about Beastland. It was probably the most aggressive response I've seen for anything he's done since the Ava Tyson controversy last year.
Yes. I feel like we're in a really weird period of Mr. Beast right now where he's in like his too quote unquote too big to fail era. He constantly is invoking this hugely viral negative reaction. And you go back to the initial tweet where he announced Beastland and he did like the drone footage that looks AI. That tweet to me, surprisingly low number of likes, 29,000, couldn't even hit 30K. Whereas these tweets, many of which were like quote tweeting this tweet, these tweets will have upwards of like 100,000 likes. And they are rightfully calling out the enormous labor issues that are on display with a lot of these construction projects and quite possibly this one.
Yeah. Now, the reason I am talking about MrBeast, the reason we decided that the first one was going to be about Beastland was we love theme parks. Theme parks are a passion. It's how we bonded at Business Insider over the weird decisions that Disney keeps making. And for the past 2 years, I have kind of centered myself as a MrBeast reporter. I broke the story of Beast Games, which is MrBeast's $100 million Amazon reality show, was not very good for the people who worked for him. The crew members that I spoke with for these stories claimed they were underfed, they had incredibly long days, they were underpaid, Jimmy didn't really seem to care about them very much. It was all just about creating the largest show in history, and it was a massive clusterfuck because of that. At one point, there was a crew member who was so injured that he is still unable to, reach the same. He was unable to do the same things that he did beforehand. He was leaving from underneath a tower in the middle of the Beast Games, and a 200-pound piece of wood hit him on the neck, throwing him backwards, hitting his head, causing him to shoot blood out of his mouth, thinking he was about to die. MrBeast executives visited him in the hospital and promised him $1,000 in Uber Eats and DoorDash gift cards. When the reason this story is why I think it kind of fits in with this other MrBeast reporting is that I just don't think that MrBeast, the corporation, really cares that much about workers' rights. They kind of run all of from the videos to their brands to the theme park as kind of like an Amazon warehouse, where the goal is to make the best content or make the best product possible for the consumer, regardless of how the person who made it feels. The goal is to just make the biggest, best thing possible and keep growing and growing and growing. And ultimately, that, you hit a certain point with your growth. You can only grow for so long before you start realizing that, hey, maybe I'm not going to be the next big thing. But Jimmy desperately wants to sit at the big boy table when it comes to, being a capitalist. Because ultimately, Jimmy Donaldson is an extreme capitalist. He idolizes Steve Jobs, Elon Musk. He wants to be one of those guys. And this is kind of his way to do it.
It's so interesting because it makes a lot of sense when you think of the fact that MrBeast is a capitalist, primarily, first and foremost. And can you go back to the slide that had the Human Rights Watch stuff? Because there's something I wanted to highlight. Yes, the one. Yeah. So there's something I wanted to highlight here. And this is especially dark and tragic because it's actually the anniversary of when the CIA confirmed that Jamal Khashoggi, a Saudi Arabian journalist, had been killed by the government. He used to work for the Washington Post, and his assassination sent shockwaves through, at what that time, sort of this burgeoning tourism economy that was happening between the West and Saudi Arabia. And at the time, this billionaire from the UK who was heavily invested in building out, tourism, travel, recreation, bridging that connection, he said, if the murder of this journalist, if this is proved true, it would clearly change the ability of any of us in the West to do business with the Saudi government. And it was true. And fast forward several years, and now MrBeast is doing business with the Saudi Arabian government. And so it's really interesting to me and very disturbing. And someone also commented in the chat, it's discussing that MBS is at the White House right now, and Trump complimented him on human rights. It does kind of feel like we have this like pushback against even standards that were like seemingly in place, you know, within the past decade. And Stephen, with your reporting on MrBeast, I'm curious, like, none of the backlash he's gotten that has been incredibly deserved, and if anything, like underplayed, it hasn't sort of stopped him from continuing to embark on these types of business deals. I'm curious, do you think that in some ways it like honestly helps him to be controversial, like when it comes to working with Saudi Arabia?
I don't think it matters to the people he works with. Like, if you look, he's basically, we'll talk about it a bit later, but he's gone mainstream in a way that he always talked about hating. He always despised Hollywood and being a part of that scene, but now he is the mainstream of digital culture, and now every brand wants to work with him. Like, he's writing a book. He is doing things with Jack Link's Beef Jerky. I just saw today he might be doing a Liquid Death sponsorship where they're making caramel seltzer. He is basically become so big that people just want to keep working with him. Like, there are all these boomer executives who don't really understand what is going on in the digital culture space. They just see that MrBeast gets big numbers, so we want to work with MrBeast. It doesn't really, working with the Saudis isn't going to hurt him. Like, because everyone has to work with the Saudis because they're the only ones with money. Like, my old beat used to be writing about esports and writing about video games. Over the past few years, the Saudis have invested millions into hosting their own esports tournament, their own esports award show, everything to try and, like, sports wash their kind of way into the main sphere. And MrBeast realizes that. Now that Ava's not in the picture, and working for Saudi Arabia isn't as controversial, or at least that's what he thought, he's able to kind of do these things. And I think it's going to hurt him in the long run, but there's, you know, until then, he's going to be making millions and millions of dollars. I have no clue how much money he made off Beastland, but I know it's got to be a sickening amount.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, as we'll get into, there's a lot of sort of coordination with companies from America and the West in general. And clearly it's not about the money that they're making from people coming to Beastland.
No. But Jimmy does love the kids. Jimmy does love the kids.
So someone in chat pointed out just a little bit earlier, like, theme parks are usually family-friendly places where you take your kids, where you get pictures with your kids. And I'm like, just you wait, because we have a whole thing coming up about, like, the appeal to children that he's doing here and with his content more generally.
So MrBeast, I don't care what he says, his main audience is children. That's who consumes his content. That's who loves to watch him. That is who at every meet and greet, that's who is, you know, screaming for the world for him. And he knows this. Like, his main brand is always about, you know, what can I get children to buy by making himself seem ethical. Like, when he relaunched Feastables, I don't know how long ago, maybe a year ago, he made it his mission to kind of talk about how he's working with ending child labor in the cocoa industry and how he's making sure that his chocolate is ethically sourced, unlike a lot of the other chocolate companies that are out there. But the way he kind of preys on children, it makes that message seem a little weird. So that I basically watch all of the MrBeast content. It's a sickening addiction, but I do it. And I watched, so in his latest short, he posted about his Jack Link's Beef Jerky collab. I've had them. They are Jack Link's Beef Jerky. And at the end of the video, he says a portion of the proceeds go to help children. And I go, oh, that sounds nice. And I spent the next 3 hours trying to find anything in press releases, in the website, in, Jimmy talking about it in other places, about trying to help kids. And I found almost nothing except for this one bit. Do you remember when we were like kids and we had to go like sell chocolate door to door?
Yes.
To raise money for the school. Well, you can do that with MrBeast Jack Link's beef jerky.
Oh, of course you can.
If you want to help your school, you get a portion of the proceeds. And I guess that helps kids? I have no idea. I will say I did reach out to Jack Link's beef jerky for comment because I am a journalist and I am a professional. But they did not respond. So this is basically my best guess as to how he's helping the kids.
I have always had this feeling about MrBeast's philanthropy efforts, even before it was cool. Because I was just thinking, like, there's so much about him that he has in common with Elon Musk, who is also one of his idols. And there's like, to me, there's a period where MrBeast had this reputation in the public eye where it was like, if you characterized him as anything but philanthropic, anything like but a good guy, you would get attacked. Same thing for Elon Musk. And then there was a turning point where people were sort of like, oh, they've had a mask off moment. But even now, they still continue the charade and their defenders still continue this charade for them. But it's like MrBeast doing like whitewashing for human rights abuses does not surprise me, because a core part of the MrBeast brand has always been like, we're saving the planet, team trees, team seas. Did that save the planet? Like, did we see these massive consequential good things stemming from that? No, but it also allowed a bunch of billionaires, including again Elon Musk, to donate to these MrBeast driven philanthropic efforts and rack up tons of positive engagement for it. So it's like there's this whole facade of he's helping make the world a better place, but the very clear reality is the exact opposite of that.
Yeah. Has anyone checked on those trees recently?
It's been in my notes app for years, like check to see if they planted the trees.
I've heard a rumor they might not be doing so well these days. But yeah, I've like basically you could not criticize MrBeast until mid 2024 when the Ava scandal broke, because everyone would just be like, you hate charity, you hate philanthropy. You don't care about the kids. He builds wells, he helps people walk, but like, does he really? Meanwhile, he's working with the Saudis and doing what he can.
Even if you go back to his original content, which we have in here, I think. Do we have the slide? Oh yeah. Okay. This is a Steven discovery because I did not know this about MrBeast. But if you go back to some of his earliest content, which this is just on the Internet Archive, he was selling this idea of like, you can blow up on YouTube, you can get 600,000 subs by supplying underage children with bullying content, which like, what did he mean by this?
So I basically found an archive of all of these old MrBeast videos. And MrBeast got his start bullying children on the internet. That is how he got his, he would basically post videos of these like young kids and the intros they made, and he would just say really mean things about them. He would tell them to drink bleach and, try to be like, he was edgy. His whole point was to be edgy. And he kind of got that original audience by making sure other kids felt like they could bully other kids. It's a very, like, cruel way to look at the world. Like, it comes from a place, it doesn't come from a place of empathy to want to make that sort of content. And it wasn't until he got his first viral video giving money to a homeless person that he completely transitioned into more of a nice MrBeast, where he's giving money away and trying to help people. But at his core, MrBeast content is about being a mean guy. So him kind of like finding this way to, be nice to the kids on the internet, I always felt interesting that basically like all of his old content, other than the more extreme, expensive stuff, is basically been wiped away.
Yeah.
I can't even say the name of a few of his series because they just have slurs.
Oh.
But that's Mr. Beast as he was as a young man. You know, he was like a teenager. He started posting when he was 12. And I do think he's grown up in some way. I don't think that same form of content still is something that he gets joy from. I think the number goes up is what gives him the joy these days. But that is not basically the go back to our TikToks, because you know you got to see what the kids do when they interact with Jimmy.
Right. Well, and it's also just like, I think so many comparisons have also been drawn between like Mr. Beast and David Dobrik's style of content that made him very successful on the internet. And both of them are predated by a lot of like reality TV, where the general underlying thesis was like, you're gonna see someone do like acts of kindness or something that betters the world, but it's only in the sense that it's packaged and sold as a television franchise. And we can't get into Chris Hansen To Catch a Predator right now. We don't have time.
Another stream. We don't
have time for that. But it's like you see with shows like that, where the thesis is something so compelling, like you're seeking out the greatest evil in the world and you're scourging it, or you're finding the most vulnerable people in the world and you're helping them. And whenever someone packages that in like our very capitalist entertainment system, it always tends to be people that go wrong like somewhere along the way. And I think you really see that with Mr. Beast. You really see the fact that like it is just such a blatant cover for greed and exploitation, but it works so well. And this video from the opening of Beastland is a really good example of why.
Look at how these kids react to Jimmy. He's a superstar.
Thank you for coming out. Thank you for coming out.
It's so sad.
So these kids at Beastland could win a golden ticket, which gave them the opportunity to have a one-on-one photo meet and greet with Jimmy. I saw other videos of these people like breaking down and crying because they got the opportunity to meet their idol, Mr. Beast, who does this. Bye.
That's a deceptively far drop. My reaction to this video when I first saw it was like, what a great metaphor for our video. But also, I would love to do this.
Oh, 100%. What was so weird to me is during my Beast Games reporting, this was basically like one of the challenges where he created these like trapdoors that would fall into foam pits, and it would be this like really big, epic event. But what happened from some of the people I spoke with is they were getting hurt. Mm-hmm. They were like hitting, one guy told me he hit his groin going down. Another said they hit their head. Like, it's fun and it's cute, but it's also, again, representative of what the content he's made that's hurt people in the past. And also, when you watch a bunch of this stuff, do you notice that there's like no cohesive theme?
100%. This is like, I'm going to get into this a little bit more, but like this is like an anti-theme park because there is no theme. The theme is just like the viral clickbait that has made Mr. Beast who he is.
I think it's time to kind of go over what is at Beastland.
Yes.
This is on their website and lists every one of the zones and areas. The map itself.
You gotta zoom in on this map.
Yeah, we got the map better right here.
This was jaw-dropping to me when I was doing my Beastland research. I could not believe my eyes when I saw this so-called map on the website, which, as you can see here, is so pixelated that it does not even function as a map. And I kept thinking I was the problem, that I had somehow downloaded this wrong. But no, they put this on their website as a promotional vehicle. It also says, like, it has a "you are here" symbol, even though none of us are currently in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, that I'm aware of.
Yeah, unless you are, chat, then you might be
Unless
there.
you are.
You know?
Unless you are. But even so, I'm just like, this is so bad. It's like they started to do like the planning stages of a theme park and then just opened it before it was completely finished.
I truly believe that this was rushed out. The announcement of the MrBeast collab was in March. And even if we're just assuming that they had planned, at the start of the year, I don't think that's enough time to make a theme park.
No.
I don't think just a few months is enough to go on. And you kind of see the challenges where you get airmail. I don't actually know what this...
That's the one.
Oh, that's the zipline one.
Yes, you're ziplining
You
and you have to drop a beanbag and try to get it in that thing.
Yeah. Also, the goal is to score points so that you can go and redeem it on the world's largest prize wall. I don't know what the competition is for the world's largest prize wall, but currently Beastland has it. You can earn all these points. They got a maze. Mm-hmm. I am going to now show you our beautiful video of the maze of Dream. You guys know Dream? He has a face now. I love that he flew out here for this.
This is unfortunately my favorite video from Beastland because it illustrates how there's not really anything there, and it's just like an absurdist, surrealist, like waste.
You are literally a rat in a cage running around, going through pellets so that you can earn points and Beast favor.
It's just like, it's so wild. And the fact that it's Dream is really just the cherry on top.
Of course. I covered Dream back in the day. I did the Dream SMP. I had forgotten about it until I saw he was coming to Beastland. And I was like, oh good. Glad he's doing well. He's got enough to go to Riyadh. But that's the maze.
I was already side-eyeing Dream, but I will side-eye any influencer who goes to Beastland to make promotional content.
Yeah, I saw MrBeast flew out a few people. I haven't been able to nail down exactly who he flew out, so I won't say. But there was a guy who did scooter tricks who was there. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much the only one I remember. And then like some British vloggers. So this one I found a little interesting. Mm-hmm. It's basically like a hamster wheel Subway Surfer where you're like running and trying to jump over different boxes in the actual game itself. The company that makes that developed Beastland, I was actually able to find out. They are Mellors Entertainment. Mellors Entertainment is this British company that made a deal with the Saudi government about 6 years ago. And even 6 years ago, they were getting questions for how they were able to do it. I asked them for comment to see if they used the kafala system, and they did not respond. So you'll have to use your own judgment to see if this theme park built in the desert in what seemed like a matter of weeks used controversial labor. But they specialize in these like activations where it comes to, put an LED wall on a thing. I saw one video where it was a cube. Mm-hmm. Where they had to step on the floor to do these challenges. Know
what it reminded me of when I was looking at the different attractions? So Steven and I love to go to like press events. And last year we went to one for a Squid Game immersive experience, which no surprise that there are similarities here because MrBeast has obviously capitalized heavily off of the Squid Games franchise, but the nature of this, like the look of Beastland, the rides in air quotes that they have at Beastland, remind me a lot of this like really overpriced Squid Games experience pop up in Manhattan. And the fact that this firm that he worked with like specializes in these pop-up attractions, it just lends to me this idea that like part of the future, and I hope that this isn't true as a theme park lover, but I imagine that in order to maximize profits, you're going to see a lot more of these like quote unquote like temporary theme parks where it's not like a fully fleshed out theme park that costs money and time and labor and resources to maintain, but rather something that like a company can come in, throw up really quickly, unethically probably, and then leverage like a star's likeness like MrBeast to just sell a bunch of tickets and then rip it all down and go on to the next one.
Which is so weird because the Beast Burger example, which is exactly what you're describing, has been nothing but a mess and a problem for him.
Yeah.
It's been a godsend for me because the amount of documents I found in Discovery are beautiful. But for him himself, it has not been good to see. Then there's the Warrior Challenge, which is basically an American Ninja Warrior ripoff, or I guess just a Ninja Warrior ripoff, because there is no cohesive theme when it comes to MrBeast. MrBeast is this symbol right here and money. That's it. Whenever you look at MrBeast activations that he does, you know, this one where you have to go and hit all the lights and then you go down and then someone else from your team goes and hits all the lights and then they go down and then someone else goes and, you know, that was never, I don't remember that being in a video. It might have been, but like it doesn't fit a theme. It's just like a random game. MrBeast has always struggled with a brand identity. He doesn't have one. He just has challenges and money. There's nothing else there. Battle Bridge.
He's honest. He has honestly, like, especially with this development with Beastland, I'm like, he's taken so much of his current brand identity from Squid Games, from like other people's work, and just like smashed that into like what his face looks like, and then produced more crap with it for people to buy.
This is kind of just from Squid Games.
Yes!
This one's
It's
just
kind
from
of,
it.
I mean, the color palette of like the neon pinks and blues, I'm like, that, it's so egregious. It's so egregious that like he has never had a truly original thought in his life.
Well, the goal is never to be original. You never want to be the first. You want to be the most successful.
Yeah.
You know, you want to grow and you want to do it. This one I found funny. It's just stacking blocks, which I guess was in the Beast games. Except in the Beast games, the opponent could throw a dodgeball at your block if you assembled it in time. This is just like, can you keep the blocks up in the amount of time? If so, you get 5,000 points.
And then like MrBeast sycophants will travel to Beastland and be like, you will not find these rides anywhere else. Like a direct quote from someone was like, you won't find these games anywhere else.
You won't find
like,
Drop Zone.
Some of these games you shouldn't find anywhere else. Most of these games are just some of the most like generic concepts possible. And they're not expensive or impressive to build or pull off either.
This one's like a classic of all of those games, like Wipeout, Fall Guys, the video game. Like they all have this. I think MrBeast's last video also had this one. It's just like this. I guess this is closer to the brand identity. I love the little like Beast cutout they put on the top, and it just like spins like a ballerina because they didn't know what to put up there. They were like, it can't be plain. It needs something. And then this one is the one we saw before, where they just drop you out of a cage, and you got to land a point on a thing.
This photo that they used for Fearfall really stuck with me because, of course, they're not showing you the fact that it's just attached to a construction vehicle. They're showing you someone mid-free fall, but they are not in any way showing you the structure of this quote-unquote ride because it is so, like, absurd to look at. It is just a crane in the desert that people are diving out of. And I hope that everyone who attends this is safe, but I do not feel safe when I see this crane.
No, like, if you look at it, all of it in the real world, there's the crane. It's
so ridiculous.
This guy's name is Panthar, by the way. He's the star of MrBeast Beast Labs.
That scares me.
They also have a giant gorilla with spider legs called Spider Bite. at the other end.
He's like if AI was a person.
This is my Panther. MrBeast sent me him. I love him dearly. He sits and throws on my leg. In case anyone was wondering about my MrBeast collection, I also have him. He is the single most cursed object known to man. If anyone wants to screenshot or clip, I would prefer if this was the moment. Just my cursed MrBeast boy. This one isn't even a game. This was just you wait online and they give you a box. I saw a lot of people. This one is if you hit in 4 different baskets, you get points. Not a game. Same thing, different net. Same thing, different ball. And the rides themselves, my theory is that they were all already in Saudi Arabia and used by this development company for different events for the past 5 years.
Well, this is my county fair theory.
Yes. And I actually managed to find a few videos of the theme park itself and these rides being built. That's how I was able to kind of track down this production company. But
this does not instill confidence.
Right? It's just dudes putting up some random equipment in the middle of the desert and to some sick beats. This guy also had a MrBeast video that has yet to appear that I thought was interesting. If I can find it, or did he take it down already? Okay, he might have taken it down already. Love when that happens. But here's kind of what Beastland looks like while it's being built. The vibes are a little different, but you kind of get it.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I wish I could find it. Anyway, well, these rides are all mostly irrelevant. Like, it's a baby coaster that I tried to find reviews for, but they were all in German.
I noticed that I could not find among the vlogs people actually riding these rides.
No one actually rode the rides because the lines themselves for the events were so long. I watched one vlog where some guy said to go through the maze, it took him 3 hours to get through the whole thing. There was one, like, to get up in that, like, the drop-down thing. He said it took 2.5 hours to get, because you can only bring one person up at a time. You're basically just waiting. All the influencers, I bet, got to do it.
I'm sure that they were allowed to do whatever they wanted, like the dream running through the maze one. I also noticed, and we're going to watch some of these in a minute, the Dubai influencers, or like the people who are from not like the Middle East, but who live in some of these places, they would walk into Beastland, film some shots of them like spinning around and like walking toward all of the attractions, but they would not actually go on and ride the rides. And I thought that was very telling.
Well, they couldn't because they didn't have a right ticket. You know?
True.
They couldn't do it. But, you know, at Beastland, you get a Lego store. Isn't that fun? You can buy Lego at Beastland.
It is so just another level of like, I guess like kind of corruption is how all of these American companies and like recognizable Western brands are just partaking in this like madness and this unethical business behavior. But of course they are. Of course they are.
Of course. You can enjoy Haagen-Dazs while you sip in the desert and stand on a line for 4 hours.
Absurd.
It's the Beastland experience. So many brands, so little time. But that's the, I love it.
Well, we have to talk about Coke and Pepsi, but I don't know if that might be a little later in our slideshow.
I don't think we put it in the slideshow, but...
I thought I did put it in the slideshow. Wait, we'll see if it's there.
We'll see.
If it's there.
But...
Okay, well, this is... So, when I looked at all of the imagery of Beastland, which some people in the comments were like, this looks like one of the Fisher-Price things you get for the backyard, the Nickelodeon game shows. the like just like yes, it is so generic, it is so derivative. And what I thought of when I saw all of the MrBeastland stuff was I thought of the absurd birthday parties that the Kardashians throw for their children. Like, for example, I don't remember how old any of them were when any of this happened, but they did like Stormy World for Kylie and Travis Scott's daughter Stormy, where they made it look like Astro World, which is even more disturbing now that remember when all of those people died? That was so horrible. So this is just like incredibly cursed now for many, many, many reasons. But they did like a mini theme park built around like Stormy's image. And they've done like indoor slides and they've done carousel rides. And it's like the vibes are so similar where it's just like a rich person doing something utterly tasteless and performative to further build up their own net worth.
This is terrifying.
And children are there.
This is like the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. This like giant face with the lady parts looking mouth.
So scary. There's more. I should have put more pictures from Stormy World because
it's so funny that they both decided the same. Now we got Astro World, Stormy World, and Beastland. Yep. All decided that people love to walk through mounts.
Yes. And what is up with that?
I think, for all of its, problems, the new Universal theme park has a cohesive way everybody walks through the land.
Yeah.
You walk through a portal.
Yes.
You don't need to walk through a mouth.
No, that's disturbing.
That's the thoughts that I have. This is Beastland mini version.
So the other thought that I had when I saw Beastland was I was like, this is just a glorified version of a county fair. And most county fairs, I would wager, are actually 10 times more fun than Beastland. They have more rides. They have more stuff to do. They're better organized. You don't have to come at night to get the full experience. And yeah, the fact that the other thing is, if you press one more, they put up Beastland, but they're going to tear it down in just a mere 45 days. And also this county fair is from California, where MrBeast presumably lives. Or where does he live?
Greenville, North Carolina.
You're right.
Of course.
You're right. Of
course.
He
ain't no Cali boy.
How stupid could I be? He lives but they have county fairs. They're probably even better county fairs in North Carolina. But regardless, he could have easily done something like this in a different setting. It was all a ploy to probably get a really big paycheck from the government.
That's the theory.
That's
the game theory. And now we have the influencers.
Okay. Yes. So moving on to the influencers who are acting like Beastland is revelatory. When I searched MrBeast on Twitter looking for tweets for this one from this woman M Herrera popped up, and she said, I experienced MrBeast Beastland 2025, and while I don't usually post anything like this, it's pretty obvious that this is, as per usual, the most insane thing a creator has ever done above everything else. It is surreal to experience how the brand has impacted real people, and I did not feel like showing more, clicking to show more. That was all I needed to get from this. But so you look at this comes across your timeline and you're like, wow, this person really loved Beastland. How impressive. But then you look at her bio and she's like deeply embedded in the creator economy, which again just goes to show that like the people who are invested in MrBeast are people who can see themselves benefiting from MrBeast. Like so much of any positive reviews coming out of Beastland for the most part are not authentic. They are not real. They are just like, and it's essentially a wannabe advertisement.
Well, I don't know if you noticed this, but do you know what Night Media is?
Yes.
Night Media was MrBeast's old management company.
Wow.
He, I believe, helped found it, and then got too big for it, and then left away. So my theory is she probably worked with him, and knew him from back in the day. You know, this isn't just organic people just being like, I want to see MrBeast. This is planned product placement to put in front of you and make you seem like, hey, this is fun.
Absurd.
You know, got to make sure to cover your hair while in Saudi Arabia.
But I don't see her on the bungee jump.
No, she was not going on the
I did
bungee
not
jump.
see her on the Fear Fall.
She was not going on the Fear Fall. Most people didn't go on the Fear Fall. And then our premium
There's
partners.
the sponsors.
There's
Okay.
the sponsors.
There's one main thing we have to acknowledge here. So it's like the official premium partner. Even the partners is like a tiered.
Of course.
experience.
Well, we've got the Saudi oil companies and
Yes.
the airlines and the people who are shoveling comical amounts of money into Riyadh season.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go down.
Steven, you're the one who discovered this. So you reveal the biggest takeaway from this sponsorship.
I saw at another influencer's video that I probably should have queued up for this, but they have Coca-Cola as a sponsor, but there is also Pepsi at Beastland. And that's just sacrilege. You can't have both. They fight.
It's really disappointing that the one time you can get both Coke and Pepsi at a theme park is only at this absolute monstrosity.
But
That's
you can
so
get Prime.
deeply offensive.
Do you want
Of
some
course.
delicious Prime? You can get the iShow Speed flavor.
I'll have my 7 p.m. Dunkin' Donuts coffee at MrBeast Land before I throw everything I just ate up on the Fear Fall.
You wait 2 hours to get to the Fear Fall in the Dunkin'. Oh, God.
It won't be sitting well at that point.
I just look at this and I'm like, this is so dystopian. We're talking about a
incredibly dystopian.
YouTuber. Like,
Yeah.
just, like, he's the largest YouTuber. But at the end of the day, he's a YouTuber. Both you and I have been covering influencers for many, many years. I started a decade ago writing about, like, random Twitch drama. And then to see, like, massive oil conglomerates throw their back behind a MrBeast to try and, like, you know, sway the youth is just, like, so weird. It's like, I went to TwitchCon a few years ago, and there were, like, there was, like, the U.S. Army, and then, like, these oil companies, and State Farm, and I'm like, this is, I guess, how they reach the youth. But, you know, YouTube used to, as Jacksepticeye said, MrBeast ruined YouTube because it used to be about the fun.
It is so unbelievably dystopian. And to your point, my dad texted me this week because he was helping my mom set up like a school book fair. Like, you remember the Scholastic book fair?
Yeah, where you can sell Jack Link's beef jerky.
Exactly. And my dad texted me a picture of like a book for kids that was like how to be a YouTuber with like MrBeast's face like smack in the middle of the cover. And I was just like, yeah, this is incredibly bleak, because those how to be a YouTuber, like books about YouTubers, have been a thing for like a decade now, but none so like craven as MrBeast. And the fact that this is what's being handed quite literally to the next generation of like, here's how to succeed, is so dark.
This is the future of content.
This is the future of content.
Oil sponsored. And this is something I kind of wanted to talk about, is MrBeast is kind of in this evolutionary phase where he's moving away from just being a YouTuber into a multimedia brand conglomerate. He has been hiring executives. His, Nolan, who is basically just his punching bag in the videos, is now signing with representation.
Wow.
They got the lady who basically created the NBC reality show bubble we're kind of dealing with now. It's all this is what he wants. He wants to like run through videos on his channel that aren't just him. He wants to run an empire. In the most like dystopian view of Beastland, I see it as a bit of a prototype of what we could see in the future in Greenville, North Carolina. MrBeast still has all of the sets of a lot of the sets of his videos still up. Like, he did a video where he locked 2 people in prison for 100 days. And he did another where he, put a broken up couple together by handcuffs. And those sets still exist. So say you go down to Greenville and you do like a Universal Studios tour backlot of MrBeast sets. Maybe throw in a few of those challenges you saw in Saudi Arabia. You get the MrBeastified version of, a theme park. the actual like final evolution. And that terrifies me.
Yeah, no, that is terrifying, but it feels very, very probable. As I watched Beastland unfold, my main thought is like, what's the playbook here? Because as bad as I think the end product turned out, they did still obviously pour an enormous amount of money into this. And I imagine that MrBeast does view it as an experimental thing to see what's possible for him. I really believe that he sees himself as like the next Walt Disney, which we'll get into in a minute.
Well, now we can see the other influencers, you know, the people promoting.
So to briefly intro this couple, also, these are like two British travel influencers who I believe now live in Dubai. I'm pretty sure her bio is like, I'm a British girl living in Dubai. And this got like 1.5 million views. And it's interesting that so many of the influencers are kind of fall into this category. But first, we'll watch the video.
MrBeast here in Riyadh and his opening days to come with us and check out what there is to do inside. Let's go. We're now inside Beastland and it looks absolutely incredible, and we've noticed there is a countdown over here for some reason, so they're saying get to the stage. We need to go. We need to find out what's going on. There's a little meet and greet area over here. We don't actually recognise anyone yet though.
Something massive is waking up at Beast Arena. You know, you got the wristband, and when you play the games...
I thought that light display looked so bad. It looks like what you drive through in the suburbs when you like go past Christmas lights in the park. And like you couldn't have done something a little bit better than that.
You don't like the drone show?
No, it looks trashy. It looks terrible.
And another, they have the tiger roar. It is definitely not my favorite drone show I've seen.
The barriers are open and we're following everyone. I don't know where to, but someone is actually. So there's all the money. I can't remember what the top prize was, but there's about 300,000.
Oh yeah, also that's part of the gimmick, is that the top scorer of all of the games, like at the end of the event, I think gets like $1 million real. Because again, it's all about winning money, because that is MrBeast's brand.
He's sort of like the Wizard of Oz in that way, where it's like people come to him because they think he'll either give them money or they think that they will become rich through him by osmosis. But he is not. It's not real, and it's never really been real. And I'm not really curious about who's gonna win this because I just simply don't care.
I'm gonna interview.
But it's like, so they win 1 million of the currency in Saudi Arabia, which is equivalent to about $250,000 in the US, which is egregious. But this is always the part of the MrBeast gimmick, is it's also like gambling for children.
Well, that's part of MrBeast's appeal, is that like the promise of generational wealth is so gross when it comes to his content. And by that I mean, like, there are so many people, when you watch a MrBeast video and they're like tortured and they're going through hell, and they always have an option to just leave. You know, when you looked at the people who were at the Las Vegas Beast Games, who were sleeping on the floor of the stadium, they weren't getting their medication, you know, they weren't able to get sanitary pads, and the response is always, you could just leave. But the promise of generational wealth is it's so alluring that no matter what is put in front of you, you still desperately will go through the worst to try to get it. And you have such a slim chance of getting it. And that's the promise. You know, the most, I think one of the worst / weirdest MrBeast stunts that he's ever done was there was a rumor going around that MrBeast was going to go to a supermarket and pay off everyone's groceries. I'm not sure if he was really supposed to come, but that is basically what a lot of people were told. So a bunch of people filled their carts with as much stuff as they could possibly get. And they all ended up just like so disappointed. And so like they were upset. They couldn't get their things. And that has always been one of my biggest problems with MrBeast. Anyway, let's go look at the money.
Riyadh than one of these.
So we headed through to the Beast Arena, and there was so many different games that
There
you
it
could take
is.
part in.
You don't want to do that?
So many blocks.
You don't want to do the blocks and then jump and go down the thing?
I would do that, but I would not do that at Beastland. And honestly, I probably shouldn't do that because it just looks inherently unsafe.
Safety
This
is
one
the
I was
number one
definitely not
priority.
giving a go, the bungee
Well,
jumping.
it's literally like
but
someone
it
said
was so
earlier,
much
it's
fun.
like the
And
Jeff
Yeah, the
excavator
excavator
thing.
It
Because
spins you around.
You could swing into the side of it, I feel. It's so...
It doesn't... It seems like they wanted to put the most amount of things.
so
buy a
negligent.
wristband with all the games included. Or if you simply just want to enter and enjoy Beastland in the whole experience, then it's only 25 SAR per person. They had so many merch shops around with all of the Feastables and limited edition merch, which was around with all of the Feastables.
So that is the world's largest prize wall. I don't know what the competition was or what the prizes are.
This whole time I thought that was supposed to be a periodic table, but upon second thought, it doesn't really make a lot of sense.
It's gold up
do
here,
that.
and then it goes down from there.
Was unlimited edition merch, which was actually very affordable. As well as all the games that are inside Beast Arena, which are inspired
not
by the
that
show. There was
Panther
also
thing.
carnival games,
Panther and
rides,
his
and
sidekick,
so many.
Banana Bite. But there's that one, and then there's this blog.
Oh, yeah.
First day and opening ceremony of Beastland went. We got to meet Mr. Beast and Chandler and explore the park while waiting for the opening ceremony. We arrived at 4 p.m. as the gates just opened, and the entrance was really cool. Soon after entering, we saw a crowd running, and turns out Mr. Beast came out to say hello. Although seemingly overwhelmed by the crowd, he
Look how terrified he is.
Yeah.
Which, again, justified. It's not like he shouldn't be terrified in a sea of young children who want to see if he is full of Feastables chocolate.
Right. Or like they either want him to turn into a pile of money or a pile of chocolate.
Can you save
And
us,
they
Mr.
don't
Beast?
they don't really care whether he lives or dies.
It's all content.
So we decided to try out the games by the entrance. We failed at all the games and
It's the
moved on to
presidential
exploring
fitness
and watching
exam.
other people win at them.
You notice they
There
didn't
are
put
a
that
lot of
one on
attractions, and
the
you really won't find
list.
these games anywhere
Yeah,
else.
they didn't mention when they're gonna
they
make you
even
do
had a
pull-ups.
fear fall bungee jump. I could never. Other games include the zip line, rock climbing, obstacle course, and it really did look like a lot of fun. At 6 p.m., Mr. Beast finally came out again for the opening ceremony and announced the biggest prize.
Whoever scores the most points up here wins 1 billion riyal.
And behind those doors, 1 million rial. Then bam, the ceremony ended with a blast, and now we have 45 days to try and win the grand prize. So, are you ready?
I'm not ready. I'm so not
Steven,
ready.
imagine how successful we could be if we just made content like this.
It's so boring to me to like do travel vlogging content like that. Today I went to MrBeastland and I decided
Yes, and it's also just so like that video has like I think over 1 million views. It did so well. And I find something I find interesting about both of these videos and both of these content creators is these are people who are not born or from Saudi Arabia whatsoever or Dubai, who have moved here as travel influencers to make content. And there's something very dystopian about that. And I think it also really speaks to like sort of the why of MrBeast being there, because it's all fake and it is all kind of like a facade that has only really seemingly harmed people and like sort of covered up for the abuses of the people in the local communities. It's more just like a fake playground for like really rich people, really rich foreigners to come and enjoy. And it's dark.
and that's kind of the point why they did the Riyadh Comedy Festival, why they do Beastland, is that they want to try to seem better to Western eyes and pull in those tourism dollars and become the media center of the world. You know, right now, Dubai is pretty much full in terms of tourists with a lot of Russians. And they don't want that. They want to be an international powerhouse that controls Western narratives. Like, there's talks right now that the Saudis are backing Comcast to buy Warner Brothers because they want to have more power and more abilities in the space. This was dreams.
That's dream again.
Dreams. We already did dreams. We don't need to do dreams. I'm good on dreams.
I think the last thing that we have to talk about
is how much it costs. Don't you guys want to know how much it costs to go to Beastland?
This was shocking to me. So first of all, I had to create an account on Riyadh 2025. So now we're going to get a lot of spam emails to our YouTube inbox about various tourism attractions in Saudi Arabia. But yeah, so the tickets are tiered, and to get like the most expensive one, it's roughly $66, which is interesting. And in one of those vlogs, she mentioned how everything was really quote unquote affordable, which is skewed given the means of production in this place. However, like another thing that this hammered home for me is that MrBeast isn't doing this because he thinks a lot of his fans are going to show up and shell out. Like, this is an advertisement for Riyadh at the end of the day. So I don't think that they are looking to this to like make a bunch of money and walk away. Otherwise, everything would probably be much more expensive. It really is more so about just like helping this government like whitewash its horrible history.
Yeah, like I don't think Beastland itself is making money. There's no way you create something like that in 45 days just to tear it down to get your investment back. It's just like burning cash. Like, and with these zone entries, I believe you can only do one of those challenges once. I'm not sure, the influencer who said that, I'm not sure if that's because of the time commitment or because you actually can't do another one. But, for that much money to be able to do a ride once, it seems a little weird. If I'm at Disney, I'm going to ride Journey into Imagination 12 times. And I would have sat through Muppet Vision at least 3 if it hadn't been destroyed by an evil executive.
And speaking of Disney parks and their evil executives, we have to talk about...
Well, first, let's explain why... So, MrBeast was asked why he decided to do it in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Why would you do it there? And his response is so odd to me. Because anyone can look through that his majority of his audience is outside America, and we have a big Middle Eastern fan base. Wanted to give them a chance to participate. He got community noted. Do you know how hard it is for MrBeast to get community noted?
But to be clear, MrBeast also chose Saudi Arabia because he signed a deal with the Saudi-funded Riyadh season earlier this year, and Beastland was a part of the deal.
No, it's because his audience is outside of the United States. And if you say otherwise, it's because you're snark.
Even Disney, which we're going to get to in a minute, but even Disney, when justifying why it is building a theme park in the UAE, did not say that because they have so many fans in the Middle East. Disney talked about how it was in like a 4 to 6 hour flight radius of a lot of population centers, which I still think is BS, but at least like slightly less so. But it doesn't even matter because now MrBeast and Disney are getting incredibly close with one another.
Yes, MrBeast has posted one whole video where I believe this is from the date video, where he takes his fiance out to the most expensive dates, and it ends with them renting out the theme park. I don't believe they actually got Cinderella's castle room. They might have.
Thank God.
I might have, but I don't recall. And he did Make-A-Wish with them recently. Mm-hmm. He did that full collab. And
yep,
it's beautiful.
Yes.
Though he made sure that he didn't make a video about it because he wanted to be humble about it. That's what he said in the tweet. He wasn't going to make a video about it. He's just going to post it on every social media account, go on ABC News, and talk about it with every single place he can.
This really sent a chill down my spine as I've watched MrBeast become increasingly closer with the Disney Corporation over the past year or so. Not because I expected better from Disney, I certainly do not, but I was just like, oh, so we're at that stage in the enshittification of Disney cycle. They are fully bringing on MrBeast and positioning him as yet another good influence for children. I mean, the video or the post on the left is from MrBeast's account, and you have the verified Disney Parks account commenting on it. The post on the right is from the Disney accounts. They collabed on this video post that showed MrBeast there with all of these Make-A-Wish kids. And it is so, and again, not surprising from Disney, but it is so emotionally manipulative to link this man who has this horrible, horrible, unethical legacy with the fact that like these children with their greatest wish, their last wish, are hoping to meet him. It is just like, it's like, again, going back to that same argument, that same rhetorical argument that MrBeast has always leaned on, which is like, what do you mean you're criticizing MrBeast? Look at him with a bunch of kids from Make-A-Wish. Aren't you the bad person after all?
Yeah, these are these kids' wish. This is what they wanted. And you are being mean to it? How dare you?
Mm-hmm. There was a clip in this video of a boy and his father, and the boy's father was like, you got so happy when you saw MrBeast. And I almost included it, but I felt like I was exploiting the child. But in reality, I'm not. It's Disney and MrBeast, but mostly in this case, Disney, who is exploiting this child. And again, like, it shouldn't surprise me, but I'm just like, ugh. Like, the fact that everything that we just talked about is now partnering with Disney is so unfortunate, but also so unsurprising.
We're in the in-shitification of Disney age. I'm sure one of our podcasts will talk about the live-action remakes and all of the awful things that Disney... Tiana's Bayou Adventure is not real, and I refuse to accept it.
Well, this moves into kind of, I wanted to tie this to Disney and what they're also doing at the same time, and also kind of like broaden out like why MrBeast is a good starting point for this show, is because both Steven and I are huge theme park fans, and we are both specifically huge Disney theme park fans. So we're going to be spending a lot of time talking about Disney from a critical fan perspective. And Disney is at a really interesting point in its sort of fandom and fan culture, which is like Disney is constantly doing stuff that really pisses off its most devoted fans. And they're kind of moving things around to, at the same time, like make all of their money from building these parasocial connections. And as an example of that, when Disney announced that it was also going to be doing a park in the Middle East, specifically in Abu Dhabi, which is part of the UAE, this caused like a massive controversy and blowback from the Disney adult community. And most interestingly to me was like these specific Disney influencers who are longtime, not just fans, not just visitors, but like mini advertising ecosystems for Disney. Like these Disney influencers, they post about the company every day. It's their own livelihood, although they're not directly employed by the company, but they have Disney podcasts, they have Disney Instagram accounts, they have Disney tourism guides. They do all of this stuff. Like they're so dependent on the culture of the company. But the fact that Disney announced Abu Dhabi Disneyland kind of like was one of many things that set off a particularly strong wave of condemnation from its own people. So we're kind of at like an interesting pressure point, I think, within theme park fandoms that is derived entirely from this like capitalist greed, where the company is so clearly doing unethical things to just make as much money as possible.
As you guys know, I like to give away money.
I think MrBeast and Disney in general, I think with theme parks, because we're all broke and sad about the state of the world, theme parks are no longer obtainable. Like, yeah. I think what I always think, like, the encapsulation of all of the problems Disney has is kind of with Tomorrowland. Like, Tomorrowland will never, ever, ever be out of date. Because you'll make a thing, and it's supposed to be the future, and then within a few years, everybody has it. So it's no longer the future. And you're constantly trying to keep up, and you're constantly trying to innovate, you're constantly trying to be new. And ultimately, that is a losing battle. And I think with theme parks in general, their ability to innovate is just like not nearly what it was, you know? I'm not a full Walt Disney stan. I believe he hated unions, not Jews. But when it comes to the vision that he had, he at least wanted to innovate. Like, the reason we have animatronics is because Walt Disney decided he was going to spend a bunch of money and put it on the side so that they could just do R&D. And I feel like we don't have that anymore. We have, how can we make the most amount of money with the least amount of effort as possible? That's how we end up with Disney Abu Dhabi. That's how we end up with Beastland. These sort of like soulless seeming theme parks that don't really like capture the magic that a theme park is supposed to have. It's supposed to be a way to escape. It's supposed to be a place of fun. But now all it does is remind you of the capitalist hellscape we exist in every single day.
Yes. You know it's bad when like the entertainment that is supposed to just be like pure nostalgia or pure brain rot or pure like whatever it may be, escapism, is no longer allowing people to escape because the property itself has been so like utterly demolished by the reality of what they're doing. And what was I gonna say? Oh, I think that like I have been very curious to see if Disney will actually go ahead with this project and like what that timeline is going to be, because I think it will be many, many years before they actually open the park, and they have made no plans on like when we can actually expect that to happen. But yeah, I think that whatever MrBeast is doing with Beastland is the opposite of R&D. It's like just pure derivative nonsense. And the fact that Disney wants to get closer to this guy and emulate some of what this guy is doing is not a good sign for true theme park fans.
No, this is the face. This is the new Walt Disney. Isn't that horrifying? This is our Walt. This is the dream maker, the Willy Wonka.
It can't be.
This is it. He's going to lock a bunch of... he already probably locks a bunch of animators in a room and has them crap out as much content as possible. It's just now they're editors or AI artists.
Incredible. Okay, well, we've been going for almost 90 minutes, which is so amazing. And thank you, everyone, for coming and bearing with us while we do.
Yeah, how'd we do?
Episode.
Can chat tell us how we did?
I'm so scared, but I know some of them had to leave because they were like, I have dinner.
Okay, so maybe this time might not be the best. You know, we're still trying to figure out when to do this, how to do this.
Yeah.
Other than the technical hiccups in the beginning, I think we managed to slide through it all fairly well.
Yeah.
So yeah. We will,
thank you for coming and bearing with us, and we're gonna keep making this better. But we've already learned so much, so
yes.
Yeah. And in future episodes, we're gonna be doing a lot of theme park news and updates, a lot of analysis, interviews, discussion, etc. So if you want to stick around and see how we grow from here, hit that subscribe button.
That was terrible.
Sorry, MrBeast said that, not me. All right, thanks, guys.